There are two microphones at either end here, and unless there are initial responses, I think we should start to build on what's happened so far in terms of the discussion to try to continue to get the issues on the table. Can you, when you speak, if you don't mind, if you could somehow identify yourself in a way that you're comfortable doing this.
Hi, my name is Kat Ferguson. I am a member of the Student Action Defense Committee, or SADCOM, which you may not have heard of because we found it out ourselves on Saturday. Our mission is not to condone nor condemn any specific student action or movement. Rather, it is to support a student's right to free speech, protest, and civil disobedience without fear of police brutality or academic consequence. Regardless of our members' personal politics, we all stand together on one front. Students have the right to protest without having their human rights being violated. We ask you now, are you willing to allow this precedent of violence to be set? Will you be afraid to say something next time you have something to say? Please join us. We're going to have flyers all around school as soon as we've actually had a chance to organize. And our email is studentactiondefensecommittee@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thanks.
No, I'm sorry, before me.
Hello, my name is Dave Shukla. I'm a graduate student in economics at social research, and I'd like to know from Mr. Moskowitz or from any other member of this administration if they are going to pursue the expulsion of any of the students that were involved in the action on Friday.
Roy, do you want to be able, or Tim, you want to?
Can you hear me? Yeah. It's too early to know that. I mean, we have a disciplinary policy which we're going to be reviewing again with faculty and students who are involved. And the only case so far has only resulted in a semester suspension for the previous one. But I have to let that process unfold. But there's no prior determination to come to that end. Because the disciplinary process that we have to follow, that will engage, and we'll be reviewing that policy as well as we go forward. But it's there's no starting position to expulsion.
Well, I have no special knowledge of the facts, and after I heard the New School Council speak, I have even more doubts about the New School's version of them. But the point is not that we're going to determine the facts here. I think even if everything he said was right, we are facing a really serious problem here, and that's actually that the malignancy, which we have been trying to solve, and we have appointed a group of surgeons and doctors to deal with them, excellent ones, I would say, is still spreading. It's still continuing, and I don't want to talk about, the corporate structure of our government and all the rest, and the malignancy is the chief executive of this place. You have set up a whole bunch of checks and balances and new rules, and now you are trying to embed him in a new structure. You have tried to embed him in a new set of structures, a new context, and everything you said in the first part of this, I have to say, very boring meeting, was probably right. You're doing a good job on that level. But the first chance he had to use discretionary authority, this is what he did. President Fenton had 2 weeks or more, somebody can correct me, with the mobilization, that occupied a building that we were using. We were teaching. I was against the mobilization, I have to say. We were using the building, we were teaching there. So what? No police was called. It went on. By the way, the University of Chicago, where I was on the student side, 2 weeks we occupied it. Edward Levy let us sit in the administration building, no police, nothing. In the end, we left. Actually, Marlene Dixon wasn't worth it. She turned out to be a horrible Stalinist in the end. But, those were different days. By the way, if people say that our students here or a group of them are undemocratic, I would like to ask Jim Miller, who has raised this point. He must remember, because he and I are of the same generation. In our generation, I would say the percentage of undemocratic opinion among leftist students was rather larger. Rather larger than now. Maybe 30 students who sometimes behave in a somewhat undemocratic way. That's a problem? I would say we had made fantastic progress over that time. They were sitting in a building that wasn't even used. They could have been sitting there till kingdom come, and it wouldn't have meant a damn thing to anybody. So what would they have done there? As the newspaper said, they would have discussed Nietzsche, probably. Hegel, okay. Marcuse, Derrida, Lukács. Let me just ask a few questions. Is it true, Mr. Marshall, that you were negotiating at the time with the students, and the police was called in, overriding the efforts that you were making at the time? Because if that is true, and some people have said that that is true, that's an extremely serious matter. Question number one. Question number two, did someone negotiate with the police rules of engagement? Now, we know what that is, right? People can get killed in situations like this, right? They're armed men. Some of them really, to me, look like a SWAT team. Now, they say it's not a SWAT team because half their body wasn't covered. To me, they look like a SWAT team. People can get killed. If one kid does something really stupid in there, they actually behaved in a very polite and modest way. But what if somebody does something stupid there and someone gets killed? Were rules of engagement negotiated? That's question number two. And if the answer to both questions is what I think it is, why do you want to keep a man president of a university who shoots from the hip, compares our peaceful demonstrators to 9/11 hijackers, who doesn't negotiate rules of engagement with the police, and who doesn't even give more than 4 hours to a process like this to unfold? I'm sure that if some of us gone in there and had a dialogue with the students, we could have taken some of them out without the police altogether. But maybe not. But at least it should have been tried.